Okay, today we're going to learn the other stitch you need to know in order to make a dishcloth, which is the pattern that I'm going to make for you. Remember, in the last video we learned how to do the chain stitch. You should be very familiar with this by now, so you've probably practiced a lot, but in case you forgot, to make a chain stitch you want to put your yarn on your fingers like this, over pinky, under these two, over pointer. Hold on to your working area. You're going to put your hook to the ceiling, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through. Hook to the ceiling, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through. And those are your chain stitches. I'm going to pull those two out. The single crochet is a little bit more complicated, but not too much. I already made a few rows worth of single crochets because it's easier to learn the stitch by going into something where you already have a few base rows made rather than going into the chain. And we'll talk about going into the chain later. But for right now, let's look at how the basics of making the single crochet. So if you're looking at your crochet stitches, they look like your chain stitches. You've got basically a V here. A V made out of a front loop and a back loop. So you've got a front loop and a back loop for each stitch. To make a single crochet, you can either make a single crochet in the front loop by itself and the back loop by itself, but more often, and what we're going to do for this pattern is you're going to go through both. So you're going to take your loop, stick it underneath both of those loops, front loop and back loop. So now you have, I'm going to get that working yarn out of the way. You have your starting chain on the hook, and you've got two other loops. So now what you're going to do is with your yarn away from you, you have your hook to the front, or a hook to the top, to the ceiling, like we start with the chain stitch, yarn over, hook toward you, and you're going to pull that yarn through two stitches. Those two, the whole V that you put your hook through. Now you've got two chains on your hook. You're going to put your hook to the ceiling again, yarn over, hook toward you, and pull through both. And that's all there is to it. One single crochet made. So let's try that again. You're going to want to keep your yarn away from you. Take your hook, stick it through both of those loops of the crochet stitch through the whole V. So now you've got your main loop and your two V's for the crochet stitch on your hook. You're going to put your hook toward the ceiling, yarn over, you hook toward you, pull through that V, and now you have two loops on the hook. Hook to the ceiling, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through both. Single crochet made. Let's try that again. Your working yarn is going to be kind of out of the way, back behind you. Stick your hook toward both loops of the V. Hook to the ceiling, yarn over, hook toward you, and go through those two loops of the V. So now you have two loops on your hook. Hook to the ceiling, yarn over, hook toward you, go through both. So I'll show you a few more times. Yarn's out of the way, hook through both loops, hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through two. Yarn out of the way, go through both loops of the V, hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through the V. Hook through the V, hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through the V, 2 loops on the hook, hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through 2. So again, like I said, when you were learning how to do the chain, keep practicing over and over and over again until you feel really comfortable with the single crochet. I'm going to get to the end of this row here, and then I'm going to show you how to turn and do the next row, because you will want to keep practicing. You can either keep practicing by pulling stitches out like this, just pull on your working yarn and the stitches come out, or by making more rows. Up, through the V, yarn over, pull through 2. Through the V, yarn over, pull through 2. Keep going with it. It's lunchtime here. Okay, so now I just finished my last stitch of the row. I'm going to make 1 chain stitch. So remember again, hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, and pull through. That's 1 chain stitch, and then I'm going to turn my work around. Now the reason to make the chain stitch is that's way your yarn is to the right height, to about the height of a single crochet, and you're ready to go. So you're going to find that very first stitch. This one's kind of hard to see sometimes. This is your chain. This right here is your very first stitch. So you're going to go through both legs of the V. Your hook is up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through the V, 2 stitches on hook, hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, through 2. And then you're going to just keep doing it. Keep going till you get to the end again, and then you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now, one thing to keep in mind is it's really, really, really easy to put too many or too few stitches in a row. You want each of your rows to be the same number of stitches unless the pattern tells you to increase or decrease, but we won't worry about increases or decreases yet. That's something for when you get to be a little bit more advanced. So you want the same number of stitches. So in order to do that, count your single crochets as you go along to make sure you have the same number at the end of the row as at the end. And if, say, you lost count because you were talking or something, you get to the end of your row, pull it up so that your yarn is not going to come unraveled, and let's count the number of stitches we have. I started with 20 stitches, so I should have 20 stitches left. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. Still have 20 stitches. None too many and none too few. I am going to do that beginning of the row one more time with you. So remember, you're going to make a chain, hook to the ceiling, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through. 1 chain made. Turn it over. We're going to find that very first stitch. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see, but that very first stitch right there, you're going to see this loop here. This V here is for the chain, and then the very next V is for your first stitch. So make sure your yarn is behind you and not in front of you, because that makes a different kind of stitch. Yarn is behind you. Put your hook through both loops of the V. I gotta make sure I have a good tension so it's not too loose. Hook up, yarn over, pull through the V. 2 stitches, 2 loops on the hook. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward me, pull through 2. A couple more times, and then we'll be done with this video. Hook up. Oh, sorry. First thing you're going to do is go through both legs of the V. Then hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, through the V. 2 stitches on the hook. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through 2. Hook through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, through both. Through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, through 2. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, through 2. Go through the V. Oops. See what I did there is I put my yarn in front of me, which is the wrong way to do it. So make sure your yarn is behind you. Through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through 2. Through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through the V. Hook up, yarn over, hook toward you, pull through 2. And just keep going. And as you can see, once you get used to it, you can do a single crochet really quickly. And this project of making a dishcloth will be really easy, and it'll go pretty fast, but only once you get familiar with making the chain stitch and making the single crochet. So I'll say it one more time. You want to make sure and practice until you can single crochet without even thinking about it, and it feels easy. And you have that muscle memory in your hands that you can do it without even watching your hands, really. But making sure, again, at the end of the row to count, make sure you have the right number of stitches. And that's it. That's how you do a single crochet.